Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Coffee Break, and I am here with the finals of the CoffeeCast Open tournament. And because there's going to be so much epicness going on, I have brought in my wonderful co-caster, Sleeper Cells. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing just fine. I know that you've been casting quite a bit tonight, so I know that a little bit of the reason cast to be just a little bit of the wiki on the voicey. I know how that goes.
Amen.
But yeah.
You have done a lot of casting yourself. Let me go ahead and introduce these two players here.
Please do.
We have aciesPure spawning as the red Protoss on the top side here on GSL Terminus, and on the bottom we have aciesSpawn. Both these players have fought their way all the way through the tournament and have a great story to tell. aciesPure has actually advanced because his last opponent had to forfeit due to computer problems. So a shame for B in that right, but very well fought by both players. I mean, Pure definitely deserves to be here. So does Spawn. What do you think of these two guys?
Obviously from the own clan, the clan of two, I think it is, maybe three, possibly four at the most. But both absolutely great players, great guys as well. Met both of them, fantastic dudes. Unfortunately, have not seen too terribly much of their play, but I do know they're fairly close in skill level, if I'm not mistaken, so that should lead to some very close and very good games.
Yes, it should be. I do know that in the last series that aciesPure and aciesSpawn played, Spawn did manage to take Pure out 2-0, including defeating him on this very map, GSL Terminus, which is Pure's favorite map to play on because it allows him, as a Protoss, to take an easy third base, which he really likes. Pure has always liked playing the passive-aggressive style. And, I mean, to each his own. A lot of players right now are doing a very aggressive Zerg style, but Pure will have none of that, liking to sit back, macro up, get his Colossi out, and do a big push.
Yeah, and that's reminiscent of course, the old, very older style of PvZ, where you sat back, you macro it up on 2 to 3 bases, got a huge army with the Colossus, the Void Rays, the Archons, everything you needed, the big Protoss death ball,
The kitchen
and you
sink.
just 1-8 and hoped, crossed your fingers, prayed that that army was going to kill the Zerg. But recently, the Zergs have just been out-macroing most of the Protoss players, so a lot of Protosses have found that it's a lot safer and a lot better to go with a lot of early aggression. But definitely, this heavy macro style still has its place in the high.
Indeed it
high levels
does.
as well.
Indeed it does. I know that Day 9, one of his big focuses lately, has been talking about how aggressive Protoss players have been in have been in Protoss vs Zerg lately. And it looks like aciesPure actually getting Gateway before laying down his Nexus, so delaying his Nexus just a little bit, getting double cannon even. I think he might have misscouted something, been a little bit scared, and decided just to go on the safe side there. But that's not too big of a deal, as, I mean, let's be honest, being on the safe side and not losing is better than going aggressive and losing. So, you know, a couple of Zerglings trying to poke up there will get deflected by the cannons.
Yeah, especially in this huge, this tournament mindset. You don't want to go down a game in a series. It's just really hard on the morale. Really puts you down in the mindset. But a very interesting wall coming out of here. It's definitely going to cover the space. It's got that nice little hole right here between the cannon and the gateway. Gonna allow for one zealot to pop in there. I think Stalkers will be able to fit through, and it'll be very easy late game to take out that cannon for Archons or Immortals to slip right on past. Now, if we do look over on the Zergy side of things, he did go for that pool first, probably 14 pool. No gas coming out of him yet. Might be sort of Spanishiwa-esque. Allows that really quick third, as I'd assume he'd go for simply because of the map.
Now, I do know that last time we saw these two players meet up here on GSL Terminus, aciesSpawn did this kind of exact same build, opened with his spawning pool, then went ahead, took his hatchery, and then took all 4 gases around the 44 mark, like you were saying, very Spanishiwa-esque. And then just went for a massive amount of roaches, and was eventually able to break aciesPure's back with Nidus Network, with drops, and with just pure roach numbers. And I would expect to see kind of the same style out of him here, because Spawn knows how dangerous it is to let a Protoss player macro up onto 3 base, and really wants to do everything he can to stop that. And indeed, all 4 extractors are dropped. The Roach Warren is dropped. I would very highly expect to see a lot of heavy roach play in this game.
Yeah, I would not be surprised in the slightest to see that. I mean, a lot of players like to take that quick third in this map, and that could exactly be what Spawn is going for here. He's making his opponent Pure feel like oh, it's Terminus. I'm going to take my third. He's going to take his third, and we're going to macro up forever. But instead, he's going to go for a huge 2-base Roach timing here. Pure, though, sitting back pretty nice 3 cannons here. He's definitely playing very safe here, and that's because he's going for some Stargate plays, which are very popular right now in Protoss versus Zerg. I personally do not like Stargate, but that says nothing about how strong it is. And against Roaches especially, I feel like this is going to catch Pure off guard because he hasn't really had a chance to scout in here yet.
I agree, and I don't know what you heard, but I heard that, Void Rays were just, kind of good against Roaches. Just did a little bit of damage to those.
Kind of.
However, unfortunately, if you do look at the supply count, Pure is quite a bit behind. Now, I don't know, that is in Harvesters quite a bit. 42 to 27 Harvesters right now on the map. So Pure has taken quite the hit to his supply just to be able to try to rush these Void Rays out. I think that he's a little bit paranoid of a Roach bust, as once again he just really is trying to pump those Void Rays out as fast as possible. If you look down in aciesSpawn's third, we do have Pure's probe still just sitting there. Will be able to make a pylon somewhere and try to do a little bit of counter aggression if he wants to. And there you can see he's selecting that probe. He remembers it's there. He does not want that to die at all costs.
A little bit of push out here from Pure. Was able to take out those Zerglings that were scouting the front of his base. A little bit of an interesting decision from Spawn. Actually does not have a single one of the watchtowers, so he's not going to know whether or not Pure is just actually moving out or just poking, taking out those Zerglings. So here comes Pure, making a very small push here. It's not going to be anything that this huge Roach army of Spawn can't handle. Nice network going down as well, so he will be going for that Nidus play that you did describe. However, it's really actually quite close to the front, and that could be sniped very easily.
There it is, man. I spent forever looking for that. I mean, when you were talking about that push out, I was looking all over the Zerg base. There it is indeed. And like you said, once again,
if he catches this Nidus network, the units out of it.
Boy, there we go.
No, here they go.
All the Roaches do get out in time. The pylon does go down in the back of the base. That pylon is up. 2 Roaches shooting at that. Another forward pylon going down in the front. Now these Roaches have very good positioning, but decent force fields do stop a lot of the Roaches from moving around, but actually only trapped in the middle there.
Well, I mean, force fields are all well and good versus Zerg, but he had a primarily Zealot army.
Oh.
Wait.
What? Apparently, even with 2 Void Rays on the field, aciesPure has decided to leave the game and therefore has gone down 0-1 in the opening matchup. I'm a little surprised to see that Indra-esque sort of play.
Well, there were definitely 3 queens shooting away at that those Void Rays, so those Void Rays were going to die. That attack was going to fail. But I
think by no means that he was out of the game.
But it wasn't the end of the game. He could have definitely fallen back and been able to defend at the natural. But that being said, he did a nice network. So the nice in the third. I mean, there really isn't anything to anything at his natural to defend against that. What I was confused about was the fact that the second that he left the game, it didn't take it to a game over sign. That was interesting.
Yeah, I think it's because it's that particular map of Terminus. It's not just GSL Terminus, it's something GSL Terminus SE.
Yeah.
So pretty much, it just aciesSpawn is taking a quick break here.
That's fair enough.
So
I got some water anyway.
Yep. So I guess I will just sit here and play some music for you guys. Be your DJ while we wait for everybody to return.